Thanks for staying with us. Today we're talking about the boy child. We got a message from a viewer, which I thought was really profound. Let me read the message to you. She says, I was in UI about 2 years ago for her daughter's graduation. She said that girls were winning almost all the awards. In fact, a girl was the valedictorian. She sat amongst parents, and all of them were asking themselves, where are the boys to marry these girls? A very important question all along we've been asking and talking about the girl child. The girl child are not paying attention to the boy child. The boys are now into cultism, drug addiction, area boys, kidnapping, armed robbery, all manner of vices. I believe it's time for the nation to shift attention to the boy child. And I think this is an interesting conversation to have because there are lots of women empowering events, focus on the girl child, and everybody comes up with these NGOs, and everybody just focuses on this young woman. Yes, we understand girls have been discriminated against for years, and there's still discrimination against the gender, absolutely. But have we focused on empowering the girl child to the point where we totally abandon the boy child? Why are we having this increase in kidnapping by these boys? We have cultism. We have these Yahoo boys all over town, and we're wondering what happened. Where do we miss the mark? How do we ensure we don't continue to make these mistakes going forward? That's our conversation today. You can call us on the numbers on your screen, 081-270-53687, 091-390-76948. You can also send us messages on YouTube and on Facebook. We'll be happy to hear your thoughts. All right, so ladies, I'd like to hear your thoughts on this issue or your experience. Have you seen where you've gone to an event and it seems like only the girls are outperforming the boys? Have you seen that?
There was one that was trending recently. I think it was Ife or UI, I think. And the young, I'm trying to remember her name. I was struggling so I can say it. And in fact, she cleared all awards and honors at that. Because after a while, people decided to echo with the MC. That her name was, for all the awards, and she was getting all the awards for from the school for best performance, best graduating in medicine. Yeah. And for me, I'm not surprised. When there was a time the girl child was the focus. It was not for a bad reason, but because, in the olden days, the girls were not even allowed to excel or even try to attempt at growing academically. But subtly but surely, what we now did is that we pushed the boys, and the goal for pushing the boys was not for them to get educated. It was because they were supposed to be the providers of families. And when the boys now started to graduate and the jobs were not there, people started to ask, who will help? It became a street slogan. Boys will start to say, the book, school where you go, you get BSc, who will help? Because you end up doing the white-collar jobs were supposed to be that if you perform well in school or you even go to school at all, you get an opportunity at corporate life or civil service. But now you need to know somebody, and they will not say, any more way, no more way.
So I see the error. I see the error in our own generation. Obviously, we all experienced it. But I'm talking about this new generation. They're younger, they're new graduates, and the girls are doing so much. So
I'm talking of now. What I'm talking about is now, more way, no more way. Those slogans, little by little, discourage the work, the effort people put in. And boys started to say, okay, no, I just need to make money. I don't need to make, A's.
Okay, so that's a major part of the problem, the fact that we are taking away meritocracy. But the real issue is that many of us are not understood. The world has changed. And the boy child of this generation is not responding the way our parents' boy children responded. There was a culture of responsibility that forced men into becoming men very early. As you're growing up, you are a man. The other girls in the family couldn't go to school. You're going to school. You have to take care of your family. There's that sense of responsibility, the weight of responsibility put on men our own age, from when they're very young to take care of their younger ones, to fend for the family. that sense of responsibility is shifting and the world is changing and parents are not understanding how to catch up with the boys of nowadays. So we face the girls that we can face. We face the girls that we can handle. We face the girls because we feel like, oh, all girls have been disadvantaged. I've been disadvantaged. The mothers feel like we've been disadvantaged. The mothers are encouraging their daughters to do well. And then the boys are looking at life in a different world where they are under immense pressure with the social media and life generally. So there's a lot of things affecting men. And I've listened to Praise for Way and a lot of coaches over and over again about how when you talk to boys nowadays, it's not even, I'm talking boys from like those that are like teenagers now and those that are adults now in their 20s and what has been going on with them since their teenage years. They've been largely abandoned. Right. So that class of abandonment results in them laying back. And everybody is encouraging women, you are a girl, doesn't mean you should sit back.
I get that, but I'll come to you, Mariam. When the women take responsibility for the girl child, right? Why are the men not taking responsibility for the boy children? Why are the fathers not saying, you know what, let us organize and begin to train our boys? Is it that they rather the women handle it, or shouldn't they see that there's a need for the men folk to begin to organize themselves for the boy child?
Yeah, but that's because women have always been largely the primary caregiver. Right. It's the women that raise children, boys or girls. But, you know, for me, this conversation, I think it will be a little too simplistic if we make it seem like the girls, all of a sudden, all the girls are doing better and then all the boys are not doing so much better. I think what has happened is that there's so much more acknowledgement of the girls doing better. We're still discussing inequality. There is largely inequality between the genders across the world. It's something we're still struggling with. We're still struggling at work. So now there is just the group of girls that you're seeing that are doing so well, and then in comparison to their counterparts, are those who we can say are in a privileged position. So these are girls that come from families where they go to school, they're in societies where they're encouraged to go to school. So we see what happens to a girl when she's giving all the opportunities and privileges. But she's also doing that with her male counterparts. She may be doing slightly better or a lot better, but she's also in class with boys who are doing very well themselves. I mean, many schools are showing us different results of young girls doing so well. I've seen so many boys doing really well to getting all the A1s. So that's, you know,
you're saying not as bad as we're making it sound.
No, not as good. Not as good, like all the girls are doing so well right now. Girls are still struggling to be recognized. Inequality is still something that we're still struggling with. So now when we talk about the banditry, the kidnapping, all the vices that's happening, I think that has to also do with the fact that boys are on the road. Boys are giving opportunities to, they lead in such, in the community now, when you see where there are boys and girls, the boys are out on the streets, they're allowed to, go out. Women are usually being kept at home. They are not allowed to mingle as much. So you find that boys that are doing badly will find those sort of things. We have girls also who are doing badly, but we'll not find as many girls on the streets doing that as well. But it's just that I think it's our culture. There's a way we handle boys, which is we allow them to, go out, to be free, to be adventurous. Yeah.
So the point
I want to just throw something into what Mariam said, which is that whenever any woman does something, it becomes news. The first woman to ride a bicycle, it becomes news. The first woman to do that, it becomes news. So that's just to help the argument of, it might not be like it's a lot, but because it is a woman, if a woman flies a plane for 13 hours, men have been flying it for many years, nobody will talk about it, but when it's a woman's turn, it'll be like, oh, the first woman to fly a plane, the first woman-led company, the first woman-billionaire company.
Let me go on a break, because we cannot ignore the fact that many young girls, for whatever reason, in many schools, are coming up tops. And it seems like we're leaving the boys behind. We need to know what happened. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So we're still on this issue of the boy child. And I know that Mariam made a point earlier that, yes, there are lots of boys that are doing just as good as the girls. Right now, it seems as if that we celebrate them because, hey, the women, there's still discrimination. There's still that drive to get that equality amongst both genders. However, the concern of mothers saying that, listen, for some reason, we go for events and we keep seeing that all the awards, all the eloquent children are usually the girls.
It's already happening in our time.
Yes.
It's not even about
So
consent.
what is the missing
So I
link?
remember then when we were younger and the schools, when they come, because I went to an all-girls schools, there was a different kind of mentoring at the assemblies. They would talk to girls particularly. They'll tell you you're made for more, you're bigger than that, and all of those focus. And all of us just grew up and were so doing everything, big
Everywhere.
things. I know you see it with girls sometimes. People don't end up with the right partners. We're wondering. And for me, I wanted to even talk about the first points I made and then to like sort of counter or sort of just deviate from what you had said earlier. If you put 10 children, 5 boys, 5 girls, at maybe in 16 years ago, by the time they graduate, the girls with the kind of parenting and everything, the girls would do well. But you see the boys' life would happen. Because if something were to happen to both parties, you will see those boys manning up early. If they had younger sisters, brothers, they will have to man up and do something about family. Women, even women now marrying now, I don't want to marry a man that has not made it to. Pushing boys into things that,
Precious.
nobody is taking time to achieve things.
Let me take another
going up at their
angle,
pace anymore.
because I spoke to a CEO not too long ago, and he was talking about how he prefers to hire women because they are loyal, they are considerate, and then if you can manage their 9 months of 8 months of pregnancy and all their mood swings, if you can just manage that, trust me, women are the best executives he prefers to have, because the men, when you hire them, they're thinking of how they can do your job better. And they can start their own company to compete with you or steal your own ideas and your clients. But the women are there loyal. So is that a good thing? Or is that bad? Is that we are not ambitious? Is it that we prefer to just be the yes master kind of worker? Or we should actually be the ones to excel amongst our peers?
Kevin O'Leary of Shark Tank said that based on statistics of all the companies he has invested into, he realized that there was one common trend in the successful companies he invested into. They were managed by women. So there is a fact-based part to the fact that women-led businesses do well. There is something in common between both Google and Facebook. They had one person move from Google to Facebook to make Facebook make money. It's a woman, and she's currently running Facebook. So the idea of successful women is no longer something strange anymore. It's more common. Maybe we celebrate it more because it's a woman, yeah, but it is a fact. Also, it is more worrisome because there are many ladies successful in their 20s looking for responsible men that can marry them, and it's a case of there are not enough men that can match up with the level they are in. In the banking sector, in the oil and gas sector, there are many successful women who it's as if men are being intimidated by the level of wealth that they have. So we do have a problem, and we can decide how we want to solve it. We must acknowledge that there's a problem, that we have more men right now that are not able to match up financially to the women, and women are now making as much money as men, and it's a threat.
Let me take this call. Have you noticed that we're falling into that trap? We're supposed to talking about the boy child.
Yeah.
We're talking about women. You see, we've just diverted the conversation. Our core focus is the boy child.
Yeah.
Let me take this call. Good morning, are you there? Oh, we lost the call. Miriam, let me come to you. How do we therefore focus all the conversation to the boys?
Okay, so let's just take it that we're talking about a certain group of people, middle class, privileges. We're all going to school. All our children are in school. And then we are finding that our boys are becoming complacent because we're not pushing them. It will just be do what you're doing for the girls. Have conversations with them as well. In America, I saw a video where they're talking about a lot of their boy children just find a way to end up being in gangs and things like that. And there's this particular school that have something they call like a daddy day. So on the day, daddies, and you know that community where a lot of them are children born out of wedlock, no father figures in their lives. So fathers, those that have fathers, the fathers will come to school. They're just there. They talk to them. They teach them. They're guiding them around school. And they say in those periods, they've seen an improvement in the children's behaviors. They want to be in school because they're seeing a father figure, someone that they can look up to. I see that in my son as well. There are some things I say to him. It takes him longer to accept it if it's me, but when his father steps in, he, you know, immediately understands what he's meant to do and wants to prove himself to his father, wants to make his father proud. So it's important that we have the older men now show up for the younger boys, give them good examples, just show, and then be more involved in schools, especially Nigerian schools. When you go for PTA, you see lots of mothers, you see very few fathers. We know that you're at work, working so hard, and so you cannot make time, but it's important, let's make that time, you know, so that the boys can see, okay, if this is what I can end up being, this is who I can end up being.
Right, let me take this call from Dr. Moyo. Good morning, are you there?
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning, you're live.
Yes, yes. I think based on my observation, what I've noticed is that the social system is gradually tilting attention from the boys to the girls. They are investing on the girls. If you go to the educational system, you'll see a lot of girls doing their masters, doing their PhDs, than boys. They just displace the boys that Shebi is a boy, he will figure out himself, he will find a way around it. They don't take time to put attention or invest as much as they invest on the females. And that's why you see that there is now an unbalanced relationship system where there are overachiever girls and then they are forced to marry down if at all they need to get married, just so that they can be married. And then the man sees her as too much for him, not based on the Nigerian system. It's too much that she's too vocal, she's too loud. Meanwhile, it's because of the training she passed through. So I think because there should be a balance.
Right. Thank you, Dr. Moyo. I think that's some comments. Let's take a few comments. Right.
Kelechi Gabriel Kadu says, someone said the boys played around more. Well, I see many scholarship opportunities tagged for women only. Most of these boys have nothing like that. Society has chosen to neglect the boy child. Simple. I wanted to use this to buttress what Miriam said. So women, because of the difficulty in even accessing education in the past, women who were able to achieve it focus on mentoring girls. You find more girls talk, girl power, whatever. But boys, you go grow now. So
as we wrap up, if the woman who was discriminated against, right, grew up and said she wants to create opportunities for the child, the girl child coming behind her. The men who also have been through challenges must fill that gap for the boys behind them. So
the difference is that the men do not have those challenges. They don't think there are. Because
they don't think so.
Yes, because once you're a man and you want to go to school, really, not many cultures will stop you from going to school. You want to get a job, not many things would be in your way. So there's no challenges like that to pull.
But we're saying based on where we are now.
Where we are now, we're just trying to say you've pushed the girls so much that the boys seem complacent. So men, it looks like you need to just pick up a bit more and encourage them to push a little harder.
Men, there's work to do. There's work to be done because I'm sure it's not just about making money. You're right. There wasn't any serious institutional discrimination against them, but we understand that men do have their own challenges, and those little challenges, the young ones behind you also need guidance. So I think men should sit up to the responsibility to ensure that the boy child is also taken care of. Okay, let's go on a break. When we come back, move on to our other topics. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.